everybody. This is Carol Maletta. Welcome to the Parenting 411 podcast, where we share information parents need from sources they can trust. Welcome to today's show. Today, I am thrilled to have Kim Kent with us. She is a money coach on a mission to disrupt outdated financial advice and empower women to build wealth without fear, guilt, or rigid budgets. After personally overcoming her own financial setbacks and transforming her relationship with money, Kim now helps others break free from scarcity thinking and emotional trauma. We'll be diving into how parents can raise financially confident kids and rewrite the money stories passed down through generations. Welcome, Kim.
Hi. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I am happy to have you here to talk about a very important topic, really. So why don't you share a bit of your personal journey and just how I understand you had an experience in your 20s that really shaped your relationship with money. So let's talk about that.
Oh, gosh. I'm like, which experience? There was quite a few. Well, look, I was never born into wealth. I was born into a lower to middle class family. Like my whole childhood, if you said, explain your childhood in 2 words, and I'll say financial stress, financial anxiety. My parents divorced when I was about 8. And look, I was the child that sent the child support messages between the parents. So if I laugh, if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry, right? There was a lot of burden and stress and strain. And I guess I developed this deep hunger for more money because I saw that if I had more money, that would solve all our problems. Don't we all think that? More money solve all our problems?
Sure.
And I was always hungry for money but could never hold on to it. I would work and it would always be spent. And as I became an adult, well, when I was 24, I actually inherited about, in Australian dollars, about $62,000.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that, 10 years ago? So it would be worth a lot more than it is now. And I blew it in 12 months.
Wow.
Actually.
Like doing what? What, like how?
Look, I'll say this. I'm a mother of a 3-year-old and I did breastfeed her. And I have to say, the one thing I have to show for that inheritance money is less saggy breastfeeding boobs.
Okay. All right.
So I got that. But the rest, that was only $7,000 of the whole, I don't know where it all went. It got spent.
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I started my own business. I was always hustling and working and chasing the whole financial freedom, be successful. And when I was about 26, turning 27, the business that I had built, I was making $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a husband. I didn't have a mortgage, no children, no big overheads really. And it never felt like enough. Like I couldn't save. I had a maxed out credit card. I was just like, when does it get better? When does it get easier? Like, how much do I need to earn? What needs to happen? Mm-hmm. And because the business I built was in network marketing, so you're surrounded by personal development. Mm-hmm. And so I was always doing all the free things because I probably was too stingy to actually pay for coaching. Sure. I thought I didn't have enough money because, I'd probably buy clothes and wine and party instead. And I finally decided to get the help. Like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, enough is enough. I invested in coaching and it was kind of like I was the caterpillar and then I went into the cocoon.
Okay.
And what I was doing is I was healing my relationship with money, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my parents and money, because they're the ones who taught me. I learned how to love myself and feel like I'm good enough. Mm-hmm. And then I learned specifically around wealth principles and how our relationship with money is dictated by our beliefs about money. Mm-hmm. And how we manage it and behave. And it's kind of like I came out of the cocoon on the other side, just believing I was good enough, actually understanding abundance and wealth and how to manage money well. And it's not like I actually went and earned more money. I was still earning the same, but we had a debt-free wedding. So we
Okay.
got married in a couple of years since then, engaged and married. Didn't have to like credit it or anything at all. We saved $100,000, cleared credit cards, was able to travel. So it's like this big shift happened
Mm-hmm.
where it's not actually about earning more money. It's
Hmm.
how you handle what you currently have
Right.
to be able to then expand on that. And then since then, like my income, I started my own business. I was like, women need to know that. Well, women and families need to know this because so many people have come from scarcity and lack
Mm-hmm.
and constantly living paycheck to paycheck and hanging out for like waiting for things to get better. So, and I've always wanted to teach and share. And I was like, I was always meant to do this. And that's how I became a money coach. And I put everything I learned into a program so I could start helping people. And, I've been doing that now for 4 years
Mm-hmm.
fully. And you know that you probably heard the saying where when you find what you're meant to do, it just like the universe supports you and
Mm-hmm.
also applying the wealth principles and applying what I've learned, like my income is completely skyrocketed and
That's
just
wonderful.
money is easy. Yeah.
So it sounds like you received some professional training as well as, I don't know, reading books or things like that. How did you arm yourself with the knowledge personally and apply it in your own life and then have something to transfer and help others with? Was it largely through a coaching program or something?
Yeah, it definitely was a mix. Look, I've read a lot of books, but the books, what I've learned, and maybe this is the lack of a better way of saying it, is that the things that are free or low ticket, you haven't put as much skin in the game.
No.
So they don't really move you. So I read the books, I did all the free stuff, I listened to the YouTubes, and don't get me wrong, that was like you start to know it, but it's not changing, it wasn't changing me at that subconscious, like autopilot level where all my core beliefs, like where my life on the outside reflects. And it wasn't until I invested in it was a mixture of having a coach
Hmm.
for accountability and doing seminars and doing online coaching courses. So it was kind of a blend of like there was the money mindset,
Hmm.
then there was the money management, then there was embodiment and energetics. So which is what I've pulled from all of these places for what I've created because you need all of it.
And so it originally you sought this coaching out personally for yourself to get
Yeah.
your money straight.
It's just I did this audit. I did an audit on my spendings, which is like the least sexiest task of them all. But
Right.
once you do it, I spent in with that $100,000, I spent $9,000 on wine. And that wasn't going to the bars or pubs or for dinner. That was just going to the bottle shop. And I'm
Hmm.
like, that's $200 a week-ish. I was still buying cheap bottles of wine. I was like, that does not, it didn't feel like it added up because I was like, I swear I don't drink that much.
Well, yeah, and I
But
think people would be surprised to know how
mm,
much they spend on things. Maybe wine's not their thing, but it might be coffee
yeah.
or clothes or things, and they look at it sort of like what you said. I don't think this is $9,000 worth of wine in your case, or clothes, or whatever their passion might be. But when I think about what you do and how beneficial it would be for moms and dads to in terms of shaping their financial health for the family. Do you want to connect your brand with families worldwide? ProPix by the Parenting 411 is your ticket to success. With over 20,000 followers and a podcast reaching more than 25 countries, we're talking family relationships, mental health, and raising awesome kids. Our past guests include doctors, psychologists, other medical professionals, counselors, New York Times bestsellers, award-winning actors, and others. ProPix amplifies your reach and boosts visibility to engage parents seeking the best for their families. Ready to join the big leagues? Visit ProPix by P411.com and let's take your brand to new heights. ProPix by P411.com. Amplify, boost, and drive your success in the parenting world. Let's talk a bit about how parents might pass down their own money anxieties and how childhood money trauma can
Yeah.
start without parents even realizing it.
Oh, it's never, it's all unconscious behavior. So
Okay.
I did go through that phase where I was like, damn you, mum and dad. Like, you taught me this, you taught me how to struggle. But they were handed down, like, both sides of my family came from a lineage of poverty mentality,
Okay.
hate, fear, instability. And if you think back hundreds and hundreds of years ago, in medieval time, you're either in a wealthy family or you're, I know we've watched enough things on the TV to understand, but it definitely was at that line. It would have been passed down. So what I learned, and this is kind of like a bit of a sciencey, I did go to university and I did get a degree in health sciences as well. So I love the science stuff because I'm like, science proves things, right?
Sure.
And that's what we tell ourselves, but it does. But when I learned about like physics and quantum physics
Okay.
and how that applies, so I'm going to share this because this is where it just landed and makes so much sense. But firstly, like when we're born
Mm-hmm.
as babies, like yes, there's the epigenetics of things that does get passed down in our DNA. But when we come in, as a new human, we're a big ball of light, we're pure energy, love, we're perfectness, right? We're this beautiful being.
Mm-hmm.
And like we don't even know as babies, we don't know that we're a baby. We're not conscious that we're human yet. We don't even realize that we've just separated from mum's body.
Sure.
Right. And so we're a blank canvas. So I like to call this we're a blank canvas, but then we need to learn about life. So this applies to everything in life. But if you think about money, our biggest influences are the artists. So I call them mum and dad because it might not be whether it's grandma, the school teacher, auntie, uncle, whoever the biggest influences are. So let's call them mum and dad. They get out their paintbrushes and they paint this is right and this is wrong with money and everything else too. But they don't just paint it like physically me telling, but my parents talking to me. That's like a very small portion. I learn about money, what's right and wrong by
What they
witnessing
did.
them and their behaviors and their energy and how they respond and to each other. So, I saw them fight a lot. So I saw money causes problems. I'd hear things like we can't afford it. No, you should just be grateful for what you have. Or there's starving children in Africa. You should blah, blah,
Oh,
blah. Like all of this,
yes. Yeah.
right? The guilt, the shame, the we can't afford it, or all of these things. So as a child, our brain doesn't have a subconscious and conscious section. It's just a big sponge. It's not until we're about 9 years old where it clicks into, or the critical thinking faculty kicks in, and we then have a subconscious and the conscious brain, we start to think for ourselves. But everything that we absorbed in those first 8 years have hardwired as our subconscious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as little as, so I never thought I came from a lot of trauma because I always had a roof over my head, food on the table, clothes on my back.
Right.
So that was always compared to the people who didn't. So I'm lucky. And I definitely grew up with a lot of privilege in Australia with who I am anyway. You don't know this as a child, but the trauma can be as little as I never was allowed money for lunch at school. And back when I was a kid, all you needed was 10 cents.
Okay.
And that could be something little at the canteen, which as a child, if I saw my friends at school get coins for the canteen to go buy lunch or like icy poles or something, and I was always told no, I don't understand that we are in a tricky financial position. I just think, why am I not good enough? Why is my friend more deserving or worthy than me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you see our little things like that around money, it makes me, or the child can think, I'm not good enough, or money, like I'm not good enough for more money or for things, I'm unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And those beliefs dictate our financial future and how we behave with money as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So it can stem from there. And then there's like the big T trauma where you literally experience starvation or physical or mental abuse directly to you, specific to money. There's a whole spectrum
Mm-hmm.
of trauma can be experienced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where was I going with this? Because I've gone on a beautiful tangent.
Well, we were just talking about how childhood trauma around money
Yeah.
can show up. And
Yeah.
you talked about how it might not be the extreme case of we really don't even have enough money for food, or we really don't even have enough money for you to have decent clothes, but it's kind of just some little things, or the fact that it's unspoken messages, because maybe, I don't know what difference it would have made, but perhaps if your parents said, we prefer for you to take your lunch to school. We don't think that you should spend money for whatever it is at the canteen that they were selling. Maybe that's not healthy. Maybe it's not something that they want you to have. But it wasn't said. You were just told you couldn't have it. And therefore, you sort of filled in the blanks about why that was.
Yeah.
And so that could cause trauma because you don't know the meaning of you not being able to have
Exactly.
that money.
We're still learning meaning. We don't, like, meaning doesn't even, like, we apply meaning as humans with our level of consciousness. We apply meaning to everything. Nothing actually has meaning unless you choose to believe there's a meaning or make a meaning of it. Like, have you heard the saying, if a cow moos at you, like, and it's technically calling you a bitch or something, like, but you don't understand it, you don't care. Because you don't understand the meaning. It's because if I say something to you and you can understand my language, and I call you something, and to you, you've attached a meaning to that.
Well,
and that's
right. And children do that an awful lot, especially when we say things like, because I said so, or we just assume they should understand why things are a certain way, whether it's money or anything like that. And like I said, children are making up their own stories about why things are. And more often than not, the stories that children make up are more horrible than the truth sometimes. So,
do you know what? I actually, because I'm working with a trauma coach now for myself, for like next, I'm always investing in myself, and there's new layers to peel back. And literally yesterday on the call, she was saying how I'm probably going to butcher this a bit, but you'll probably be able to say it better. Then when something happens, like as we said, as a child, something will happen and there's the reason, but if there's no explanation, the child will fill the gap with its own meaning, and it usually comes from the deepest wound that's already there.
mm-hmm.
So, no, you can't have money for school. And if my mum's saying that, what's going on in her head would be like, because I'm stressed, stop asking me questions, like, we need to focus on bills are more important, like all the stuff going on in her head. And she's probably consciously trying not to put that on the child, but subconsciously and energetically she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the child or me would be like, fill the gap. Oh, it means that I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Mummy doesn't love me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we've talked about how messages that are unspoken can have an impact. And then there are also common phrases that you may hear parents say. And I want you to talk about why parents should not say, we can't afford that, even when it's true. And just talk about how that can backfire for kids.
Yeah. It's easy to understand. Like, I've done the work to understand now why my parents and why people would say it. And side note, like my child, she will never, ever, 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 ever hear me say that.
Okay.
And there's been times where I've wanted to, and she wants this silly toy at the shops. It's like $80. And in my head, I'm like, no. And it's not that do you know what? I can afford it. Sure. Because I choose to never have that. Like, I never will say I can't afford it. There's always a way to afford something, but there's just different languaging around it. What I've learned, and it makes absolute sense, is it's when parents aren't, I guess, conscious, for lack of a better word, conscious or aware of what they're doing or what their relationship with money is, when they don't want to let their child down, because I can speak as a mum, we love at the biggest capacity that we can give. Everyone's capacity looks different, but I am like, I do everything I can, right? And I know my mum would have loved me, or does love me, but would have loved me at the biggest capacity she could. So if she couldn't afford something, wouldn't it makes sense that it seems easier to blame, like take the responsibility off her. Like, we can't afford it.
Right.
So instead of her feeling, because she probably feels guilt that I want to give my child everything, but we can't afford it, it's almost like the cop out to avoid the guilt. Mm-hmm. But you're not consciously doing it. It's just blame it's almost like another example is money doesn't grow on trees. We've heard the whole money, it literally does. Like paper money, like money is printed daily. This is why we have inflation issues. Because the value of the dollar decreases annually because they print money every day. So it's literally an unlimited resource. But we grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees. And this is one of the processes that I take my clients through is, so I heard this belief growing up. So money doesn't grow on trees makes me think money is limited. There's not enough to go around, right? So it's scarce. So it supports scarcity and lack, and you're going to run out, right? It's us stressed. But if you think about it, I have to do the work. And what I take clients through is, okay, what was going on for mum? Is that the real truth? Is the real truth that we can't afford it or money doesn't grow on trees? What's the real truth? So where did I hear that from? I heard it from mum. I heard a lot from mum. Dad just kind of shouldn't say much. That's another, either a parent that says a lot or says nothing, and that both create beliefs. But I was like, what was going on with mum when I heard that a lot? And I heard a lot post-divorce. So what was going on for mum? She became a single parent and she had no qualifications. So she had to work for minimum wage to put it, and back then there was no, like in Australia now, there's a lot of family tax benefits and parenting benefits. There was none of that then. So it was easier. It took me a while. There's a process where you find out what was going on for mum negatively and how was it a gain to her to say that to her children. And long story short is, like, it's easier to blame the trees. Mum wants to give us everything, but if money doesn't grow on trees, it's easier to blame the trees than her lack of money or lack of being able to provide. And it's not that she didn't provide. It's when, hey, I want a new toy, or I was a ballerina. Hey, oh, we need this costume and that costume and blah, blah, all the things. And the new, it's instead of when she's financially stressed or the parent's financially stressed, it's be like, money doesn't grow on trees.
So what else can parents say? What would be another way for them to set boundaries? Like even if it's not true that theoretically they could afford whatever it is the child wants, but they don't want to, instead of blaming the trees or instead of telling a little tale that we can't afford it, what are some other well-meaning, honest, practical ways that parents could set boundaries on how they're going to spend money and really make it more an empowering experience for their kids versus a scarcity mindset?
Well, look, I know so many of us, and we're humans, we want the answers, we want the quick fix, we want to avoid pain and chase pleasure. But I don't do the surface level stuff. Like, at the end of the day, we need to work deep. So I will give some things that you can say, but if I still believe that money doesn't grow on trees and rich people are greedy and money is the root of all evil and there's not enough to go around, if I still believe it, it actually doesn't matter what I say to my child, because I'm saying it not from the right energy, because I'm not even believing it. It won't come across. It actually won't work. So at the end of the day, we need to first do the work as parents on ourselves to reprogram those beliefs out, to replace them. So as in, I don't ever have to think, there's times where I'll get, when Isla, that's my little girl, when she wants something that's just, no, like, I'll buy you things, but no, that's like, like, you're just going to play with it for 2 seconds. I'd rather spend less if we're, all those things. But because I believe that rich people are not greedy. I believe that money is not the root. Like, money can bring a lot of, it's a well-needed resource. I never actually need to think, how am I trying to say this? I never have to stop and think and be like, hang on, how can I rechange my words? Because I've already done it within. So as a byproduct, the way that I am and the way that I respond now, it's not even like this conscious thought, I need to change my language because I worked. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, because it really has to come from the outside, from the inside and flow out. And then it's an authentic statement that you're making. But I guess what I was also wondering is, like, what's an example of what someone who has done the work and just feels like, say, for example, they have done the work inside, whatever it is that the child has picked out and would like the parent to buy is not, say the child just doesn't need it.
Yeah, well, it's a $90, $100 toy from Kmart.
Okay.
So it's top of the range. It's like, no, it's just, it wouldn't make sense, right? So this perfect example, Isla will pick out, I want this. And in my head, I'm like, I can afford it, but I am not spending $80 on that. Like, no, because I don't see the value in it. So I'm like, how can I, instead of saying just no, that she can't have it because she doesn't understand, it's, sometimes it does feel like it could be a little white lie, because I usually go around like, look, babe, this is not really good quality. It's going to break really quickly. By all means, it could be really good quality. I am just not going to spend that. But I am not going to make a point of she's not worth that toy. So I kind of move the thing. I will say things like, either I'll say like, just not today, and I'll keep a really, or what else can we find? Or that quality, it's probably going to break. What else can we find that's good quality? And I feel like I'm teaching her to look,
And
to start appreciating.
that's what I was getting at, because I think it can be informative. I mean, because now that's sort of a benchmark that children can use when you talk about that. Or you have two other pairs of sneakers that are very similar to that, and they're in good shape. So then that can kind of get them to thinking along that way. Well, how many sneakers do I need? Or especially when they start spending their own allowance, it helps them to start making decisions like, should I buy this thing, this toy, this anything? Because I actually do have two others at home like it. So they start, because I call that, it's not just about money, but that it's not an explanation, but just a little news they can use. That's what I call it when I'm talking about it with my families that I work with. It's like, give them some news they can use, like something that they can use in their decision making and in their problem solving. It's just a little information. You're not beating them over their head with it. You're not lecturing, but you're just giving them something to think about. And so, like you said, they would think about the quality now. Like, oh, that's something I need to look at now.
Well, and look, Isla's 3, right? She's almost at the age where she's starting to understand money. Well, she is, because she's like, where's your purse, Mum? Is there money in it? I was like, honey, it's all on the card. She's like, where's your card? Okay, so, but leading up to that, I'm like, she's not earning money. Like, I'm a big believer in pocket money. I will not just give my child pocket money for the sake of it. That I want to teach the value exchange. And now I'm an entrepreneur, and I grew up with, you go to university, you get a qualification, you go work for someone else until you retire. So I grew up with that belief. So I've already broken this. I'm like, I don't want her to believe she has to just hustle and trade time for money, but I want her to understand the value. Like, we receive money there's a value exchange. And then when you get the money, how can you make it work for you more? Because you want money for you. You don't want to be always working for money. So when she's old enough, which will probably by the time she's 4, I will start thinking, what jobs can she do that aren't, like, I'll never pay pocket money to clean your room. And what I don't believe we should reward financially our children to do things that adults need to do just to live.
Yes.
As in, I'm not going to pay pocket money to brush your teeth, to make your bed, but then what jobs? I'm trying to.
We are on the same page. We are definitely on the same page with that. Yes, and while we're at it, what are your thoughts on allowance? Not tied to any chores or anything like that, but allowance.
Well, I guess we call it pocket money. I wouldn't give allowance. I wouldn't just give allowance for. But look, I say that now with a 3-year-old, but I'm in a position. It's not that I'm just going to give them money. I plan to have another child, so them, speaking as if the other child's already here. It's, I earn enough and we earn enough and we manage our money really well. So when the children need something or want something, it's be a conversation of around, are we going to be buying it? Or if it's something that they want the toy or they want the lollies from down at the corner shop. And I'm just like, no, like, you can use your own money, but there will be a allowance, but you do the, I don't want to call them chores, it would be jobs, because chores has this, like,
I know, I don't like the word chores either. It's household jobs.
Household jobs. And I say job because, when she's a job or work, I don't mind the term work, because to me work can relate to she could start a business. Now, I'm more than happy for my children to hustle me. So if she's like, I'll get to her like, well, do you want this thing? How can you make the funds for that? She can come to me, she can negotiate with me. Say, Mum, if I do X, Y, Z, like she's selling herself to do a job, probably a better term. Just like how I want to go pitch myself to someone, I'm selling myself in exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can negotiate. I want to teach her negotiation. And if she, I'd love her to learn that skill. And if she's like, hey, mom, I'll do all the weeding of this whole section, and she'll be like, give me $50. And I'll be like, I'll give you $20 or whatever it might be. I don't want to instill the entitlement. I expect a handout.
Right.
It would be how can I raise the funds for what I want, but I'm also bringing her up in a position where, like, she's gonna, if anything, if she was to ever hit the fan, she's supported by us as her
Sure.
parents.
Right.
Yeah, so I believe in allowance, that it's not just a, because I don't, and this could still be my stuff working through being a newish mum because she's only 3, is what if she just expects her allowance and then becomes, and I'll do everything I can to be a really good parent, but if there's a, what's if it goes the other way, she gets the handout, it's getting the handouts, and then there's a level of entitlement. And all kids go through the hormonal changes, and when they want to retreat and do the things, that who knows that she expects her allowance for, and she hasn't do you know what I mean? She just expects it and it's there, but then she's not, she's been rude that way, like she's just going through her stuff, but I don't want to say she hasn't earned it. I'm being very conscious of my languaging around it, but I guess
Right.
there's always going to be an energy exchange.
Right, right. And I guess my philosophy and what I teach with parents about it is that allowance plays a role in terms of, first of all, it's a part, the child is getting a share of the
Hmm.
family wealth, what, family resources. They're a member of the family, so they get a portion. I mean, it's not a lot, not a large portion, but they get a portion. And what they do with that portion is they begin to learn how to save a little. Well, it's actually save a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give, and spend a portion. And so what that allowance does, having that, and of course you add birthday money, Christmas money, other occasions that they get money as gifts from yourself or from relatives, but they can use that pool of money to buy things that they want, and they learn how to make decisions with it. And sometimes particularly when they're younger, they're going to make some silly decisions, and there might be some decisions that are kind of silly, but the stakes are low, and they can learn from it. Like, for example, if they have a birthday party coming up, but they spent their money on something else, and now they need to go to their friend's birthday party, and they don't have enough money to buy a gift. There's a dilemma. Do we borrow from
Mm.
mom and dad so that they can go to the party and feel good about having a gift, or what's, but it, like I said, it just helps them to think about how they spend the money by having a little bit to manage.
Yeah,
That's
so I do
Mhm.
agree. My thing, I guess, we call it pocket money here. There would be it's an exchange, so she would earn a certain amount a week. So there would be that. So when she's 4, it would probably be $4 or $5 Australian,
Mhm.
anyway. And but there would be. I guess I believe that if
And they
as a
still
parent,
have jobs. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong. They still have jobs. It's not tied to the money because, as you said, they can very easily, when they become teens, decide I don't feel like doing the job, so I'm okay without getting the money. But yet, that job is critical to keeping the household running. So
yeah,
then you kind of have other consequences.
yeah.
Kids up for success this school year with a quick trip online or in store at Staples. Whether it's notebooks, pens, or that special calculator on their list, Staples has everything your child needs to have a great start. I still have lots of extra school supplies on hand here at my house from when my children were younger because you could never have too many, especially when they're this affordable and easy to grab. I also use them in my business. Plus, this year, I'm also stocking backpacks for kids with parents who might need just a little bit of help this year. So click the link below to start shopping and check off every item on your student's list and get ready for the best school year yet.
Well, so
Mm-hmm.
there's two things I want to share with you. So firstly, I do have a set, because there's certain principles to follow when you manage your money. And so there's when you save first, and it's kind of like what you were saying too, where everything's allocated, everything's divided up. So Isla, when will receive money, it will be like she'll be taught, like, we save first and we put a percentage into savings, and like long term for when you're an adult, like we save for her anyway.
Right.
And I want to say on a tangent, we're in a position, especially where Daniel and I are, that we didn't have this in the generational hand-me-downs. Like when we became 18, it's, go fend for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're on your own, where we're building our wealth. So we're in a position to support our child, but we're not going to give handouts that aren't, probably like a better way of saying it, handouts that aren't appreciated, that if they're expected, I don't want to have a child who's 18 and, my parents will just buy me a car. Like we're not,
Oh, no.
we want to grow up, raise the healthy relationship and the respect with money. So she will be taught to save long term, even though we're already saving for her, and what to spend and what not. So when she gets to an age where she understands, and this is kind of looping back, is if she wants a toy, it's, how much money do you have? Do you need more? And what have you got with your pocket money? You get to do that. But we won't, like if she needs a new clothes, or if she's going to the birthday party and the friend needs a gift, I think it just depends where we value what needs to be spent on what, because
Mm-hmm.
I would buy, as a parent, buy the gift, but if she wants clothes and toys and lollies, that's usually all kids want, is toys and lollies, that I don't feel is necessary, but she can use her money and then understand the value of her money.
Mm-hmm.
But I will always, there will be a set, this is your pocket money and being a part of this family, and you do things to keep the household running. If you want to earn more, hustle me.
Yes.
Hustle me, come negotiate, do that.
Like special projects. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do feel like, just based on a lot of my clients and my experience, you know this, every age is different anyway, and there's different level of educating little kids with money until they become teenagers, and or preteens, they start thinking for themselves how they can do that. And then I guess different, not disciplinary, but different action will be taken. So if you have the teen that's like, well, stuff this, I don't want to do the chores, I won't have money. Cool. What comes with that is, but you still expect your lunch to be bought, like lunch money at school. You still expect the new runners because they're in fashion. Like this is what that choice of you making those decisions come with a repercussion, like
absolutely,
consequences in life. So I think it's a really powerful conversation, because all of our beliefs, even though I've done work to change beliefs, I still have beliefs from my childhood because I was never handed out. I follow other money coaches who are really wealthy, and they don't believe in pocket money. They believe in a household that everything's provided, but they focus on gratitude. And I was like, to me, I still believe, well, how do you appreciate the value of money if you're not working for it? Like, what if you do become an adult and it is fend for yourself, and you've never learned how to go make your own money or handle money?
Handle it, yes.
It's a handling, and that's what we want to teach at a young. This is what I do with the wealth school. You want to teach at the young age, so you don't get in debt and start just blowing everything once you have money as an adult, because you're like, oh, freedom, and my parents don't control me anymore, and then you just blow all your money, and then you get to your 30s and you're like, where the fuck? Like I almost 30. It's like, where the fuck is all my money going? Like what is going on? And I do see it a lot. And look, there's a lot. I don't think my family is going to listen to this, but whatever. I'm the black sheep, right? None of my family. I have brothers. I have a brother, 2 half sisters, 3 step brothers, parents, step parents. No one takes. I would give them free advice with what I've learned, but no one wants it. And I see them struggling financially. I see them not being able to get ahead because they're still stuck in the old belief patterns, and then they're repeating them. You know what I mean?
Sure. Wow. And I mean, you do this and you help other families. It'd be wonderful if they took your advice.
It's kind of like, how your husband will never listen to you, but he'll listen to a man behind the counter at the bakery or something. I don't know. It's the same thing, unless someone's ready to hear it. Or they probably believe, I think we're going down a different rabbit hole now, which is great. They're probably disassociating from me because I'm now on a different trajectory to the family beliefs that were handed down. So I probably look like to them, like like they don't understand it, or energetically, like it's a subconscious thing. They're like, Kim's different, or I'm becoming the rich and greedy person.
Oh, wow. Hadn't
I'm
thought
not,
about
but
Sure, could be. Yeah.
yeah.
I can imagine that this is really fulfilling for you. I can tell from your passion and the way you speak about it. But describe maybe without breaking confidence, but like a real life story from your coaching that just where you were really able to make a difference in the life of a family in terms of changing the mindset and really seeing them change wealth
Yeah. No, I
in their
love this.
family.
Oh, you're going to get me on the GUIs, all the emotional. I've helped over with my program, helped about 250 women and families. Some families, some are independent women, some are women in relation. It's women, whatever, however they receive money, whether it's family, household money, theirs, or their state, like it doesn't matter. It's you receive money once you have it. It's how you handle it. One of my I was actually just talking to her. So one of my beautiful clients, she's over in New Zealand, and she is at uni, been studying to be a paramedic. So she can still work as a paramedic, but she's on a lower pay rate until you become qualified, or however the system is there. And she actually started working with me 3 years ago. Okay. And she was also like, I want to have a baby. I'm at the age where, as in a sperm donor baby, like I want to do this. I don't have a partner. I want to do this by myself. So I've been able to help her off a very low income, like a smaller wage, to be able to go through all that and support having a baby. She was living in the basement of someone's house. At was a granny flat in the basement. It was set up. And to buy her own home.
Wow.
Which is actually so amazing, to buy her own home as a single parent on not a huge income, because she's able to save and get her credit really well, pay off debts and stuff. So that's actually been huge, and there's one of the reasons she sticks around. She's always stays a part of the community. There's a lot of where the women who are in relationships, they stop fighting with hubby. And this was the same with me and Daniel. The resentment stops. Look, I can't promise it for other areas of life, but when it comes to money, my husband still pisses me off. I piss him off. But when it comes to money, we do not fight. Right. And there's this beautiful bond, and there's actually a lot of what happens is because a lot of women who come to me who are like me is I've always been the very masculine driven one with the finances, because I've used to have the stress around it. So I still want to have the control. I've just got the healthy relationship with it now. And I have other women who've come to me, which has actually put the partner not in their masculine with the money and not trusting themselves. And by coming together and following my blueprint, like learning my system to manage your money, where we get and there's a beautiful spreadsheet, everything, it's actually allowing the men to step up into that. Men are meant to provide. The brain is all about providing, protecting, and allowing the women to actually get into her feminine, so she's not getting angry or frustrated. So that beautiful balanced dynamic is happening in the household, and you can just imagine how that would ripple effect onto if they have kids.
Sure.
So, a lot of women come in and families come in because they want the house deposit. They're like, I want to save. It's first of all, they're like, I want money in the bank. I earn a good income, but I have nothing to show for it.
Yes.
Oh, and yeah, because I'm like, it's more money won't help that. You will just have bigger bills. You'll just spend it.
Right.
Because I've been there. I've had a family go from never getting past about $500 in their savings. They both work for that, in the army, which in Australia, she's part-time mum of 2, he's full-time. So you get perks. They had their house rent paid for. You get a lot of benefits. And she came to me and she's like, I can't afford to work with you, Kim, but our credit card's almost maxed out. We can never get past a few $100s in savings, but we earn over 6 figures annually. What is going on? And we did this work, and so we changed what they believe about money. Within 2 years, they saved $100,000. They paid off their car loans. They moved to their dream home in this coastal town.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and now they're going to planning Disneyland. And she's like, 40,000, because it's going to cost multiple 5 figures for Australians to visit any kind of Disneyland anywhere. And she's like, we took the family to Disneyland, and she's like, it's going to cost 45 grand. Wow. But to her, and they both work with set incomes.
Sure.
So, but they've attracted money in and things happen. But she's like, 45 grand, no brainer. But it's not like we're going to go next month. It's when you follow this blueprint in this system, it's okay, well, when can we realistically do it? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
So not the whole where people come to me and they're like, I want to travel, I want to have money to go travel, but I also want to buy the house. So I'm just trying to save all together, but then I need to dip into it because the car retro bill came and I forgot about it. And there's just this chaos and it's not organized. And that's why 5 years will pass and your savings the same, if not less. The credit card, you're still playing catch up on the credit card.
Right.
And you're wondering like when. So yeah, I guess.
So
Success stories.
well, that's wonderful. It's clear you're having a major impact in families' lives. Now, if we have parents who are listening, who are just overwhelmed by uncertainty, certainly, in the economy, what's a small step they could take today to start raising financially confident kids?
Okay, so we'll start. It's almost like you have to start at the part that changes last, which is your behaviors, because we can control consciously our behaviors. I always recommend whatever I'm about to give is not going to be long term. It will help long term, but it's not. You need to do the work with your relationship with money and your beliefs and all of that. And when you change your beliefs, you change your emotions. So your emotions dictate your behaviors. So if we change it from the core, you start managing your money differently. But here's the structure that you follow anyway. The first thing you do when the pay lands, so the moment, I'll give a few things. When the pay lands, first of all, you want separate accounts for your different spending categories. So work out what it is. That there's core ones like groceries, bills, rent or mortgage. And there's your savings do not touch, which I'll get to. And then everyone has their own set of, like we have a separate category for certain things that next person wouldn't. I don't have pets, so I don't need to pay for vet bills or dog food. So I don't need that category. But get really clear where your money's going. When the pay lands, have like an account that your pay goes into. Mm-hmm. And the only way money comes out of that account is when you transfer it out. So don't have your income land. So I'll speak to, even if you're a business owner, you'd pay yourself a wage. Mm-hmm. And if you're a sole trader, you need to be treating your business like a business and you pay yourself your wage. So you have a wage holding. So when your boss pays you, that company pays you, it's an income account. And if anything, you don't even have a card attached to it. I don't know how the banking system works in the States. In Australia, you can have like online only, but mm-hmm. you can get money deposited into that. You don't want a card attached because you don't want to spend from it, because there's an energetic order in which to transfer things that's going to support self-worth and appreciation, because money is where it's appreciated most. So the separate income account, it lands. Then from there, you're in your personal power to go delegate it out or go allocate it out, rather than if you have direct debits, like even direct debit savings, when you automate it from the bank, you don't trust yourself enough to save. You just gave your power to the bank. Now, bills get direct debited. That's fine. You have a separate bills account. You transfer to that. I always have enough for my bills. Sometimes they decline. I'm like, cool, money's going to be in there in a couple of days. I'm not going to die. They'll get their money. Like that's the energy you want to be in, not bills overdue. Like we don't want to be in that. Anyway, how's all this? This is a lot. I can't just give one, but I'm going to give it to you. Have income account. Then the first thing you're going to do, the first transaction that you do when your pay lands is to save. So you transfer. Now, this is why you have to, with my program, we do an audit, we see where all the money is. We actually reverse engineer it to get to this point, so you know exactly how much you can save. Mm-hmm. But you save first. So you need to work out how much you need for your bills, your mortgage, all your other things. So say, for example, you earn $1,000 a week and you've worked it out and you can save $100. Mm-hmm. It's actually 10%. So we want to work in percentages. You save 10%. Now that 10% you transfer first, because you're prioritizing your self-worth, your wealth creation, you're building this savings, do not touch. This is what you're building up to reinvest. That's then your investment strategy or your wealth building strategy. But that first. And then you transfer to your bills account last. Okay. You're responsible. You're still going to pay your bills. But the bill company, the phone company, they tell, or whatever the companies are, is like, oh, you're not a number to us, you're a person. Bullshit. Every business is about making money, and that is okay because that's what business is. Mm-hmm. But they will give good service, but you prioritize yourself first. Save first. Then work out what your spendings are, transfer to your spendings account, transfer to your mortgage, rent, however you manage that, and then transfer to your bills last. It's an energetic practice. And what that does is it supports this, like, I am good enough to be first. Because growing up, we get told, make sure you pay bills, make sure you strict budget, don't get into debt. Debt is bad, but you should get a house, which usually we mortgage first,
Sure.
you know. We're trying to break just from these small physical behaviors of your money management. We're trying to break the old and bring in the new support of I am worthy, I am first. And I guess this is really powerful for parents. And this will either trigger people because their beliefs are they're still stuck in the people pleasing, which is fine. Women pleasers anyway. It's the only way that I can be the best mum is if I give to myself first. So I'm more important than my daughter who just came in the office. The door was locked. Woken up, and I can only, because if I give to her before me, she will give to other people before herself. So I save first. I make myself first. Well, we're married, so I make our family, like our savings first, and then I then reallocate out. So if people donate for charity, do not do charity first. That can be triggering, but charity starts at home. You can only give from a full cup. So your savings first, then donate, because they come from an overflow energy on any resentment. I hope that makes sense. I'm just a little distraction in here now. Hey, you want to say hello?
Hello.
I just woke up. Daddy's meant to be awake, but he probably didn't hear you get up. Okay. So you want me to summarize that? Because that was a really long-winded explanation.
I know that. No, I think that was good. I think that will be very helpful. Well, how can we follow you?
Instagram is a great place to start. @_. You'll see me. I'm the only Kim get the money. You'll see it says money coaching on there. You can stalk the program, the main program. It's called Wealthy as Fuck. There is an asterisk. You just can't say fuck with an asterisk. So it's www.wealthyaf.com.au, and you can read up. There's a heap of the ladies' testimonials on there. There's videos, testimonials. You can suss it all out and just go learn the framework, the mindset management and manifestation framework. And
Well, thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate you coming over and just sharing your wisdom and your personal stories with us, and your approach to money and focusing on empowerment and healing rather than being fearful and afraid offers hope to a lot of families. And I know our listeners will walk away with practical tools and a fresh perspective on how to raise kids who are confident and resilient with money. And as you've heard, listeners, Kim Kent is in the business of coaching individuals and families on sound money management practices. And of course, that begins with mindset. And I am pleased to have her on the Parenting 411 platform to share this vital expertise. But now I want to ask, how about you? Would you like to reach families and parents who need the services and products that you provide? We have the program for you if this sounds like something you're interested in. It's Pro Picks by the Parenting 411. With tens of thousands of followers and subscribers, we can elevate your brand across our multimedia platform to connect with clients and customers who need the services that you provide. So visit www.propixbyp411.com to learn more and start growing your brand today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues, and check the show notes on how you can follow Kim Kent. Thank you, and remember, it's never too late to be the parent you want to be. All right. Thank you so much, Kim. This was fun.
We had a little bit. I think the lock on. I think we need new locks on my office door. Hey.
Listen, I am a parent educator. Things happen. That life happens. That's all right. She was a welcome addition to our conversation.
No, usually she's more chatty, but as she's gotten a little bit older, she gets a bit shy. It works well because then we can record. Hey.
That's right.
Hello.
Well,
And then
thank
once
you
we get
so much.
off, I was
Huh?
going to say, once we get off, she'll be like, "Where's the lady?"
Well, thank you so much. I know you had to get up early for this conversation.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So I will send you an email and let you know when we're ready to, send this, and you'll get a promotional piece that you can use on your platform to share the episode as well. But thank you again.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, say bye-bye. Say your
Bye.
night
Enjoy.
tonight.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay, bye.
We bring you this episode for the purpose of information and entertainment only. It is not the intent or purpose of the Parenting 411 podcast or Carol Maletta to provide an exhaustive reference or guide on all aspects of parenting, childcare, and family life. You are strongly encouraged to read all available information, consult medical or other appropriate professionals, and pursue all reasonable means to learn as much as possible about parenting to complement what you gain here, and then tailor the information to meet your individual needs. Yes, parenting is a serious matter, though it is not an exact science. The context and insights offered in this and every episode represent an account of knowledge and personal experiences of the host and any featured guests for the viewers' and listeners' information and consideration. The host and guests do not guarantee to our viewers or listeners any specific parenting outcomes from this episode or taking actions described here.